So here we are with another restoration. This is a creature from the Black Lagoon. This one had been in quite a bad state when I received it. The machine suffered from severe cab fade. The ramps were partially destroyed. It was actually at one point being considered, I believe, by two previous, well, at least the second previous owner, to be used for spare parts and not actually to be kept, just because there was so much work needed to be done to it. And in terms of like restoration, it has been quite a considerable outlay for myself to get this one up to spec. So within the machine itself, we've got brand new ramps. So the left ramp here was completely replaced. The only original ramp that remained was this spiral ramp, but the other ramp, which is the one which forks from the right here and feeds back to the left, this one was originally completely destroyed. On the left side here, we basically had the left wall, so down here, was completely gone, and someone had 3D printed a makeshift wall and drilled into the playfield in 4 spots. And then they'd reinforced the ramp by using epoxy resin under the base here to stop it moving around. That took considerable effort to remove it. It was lifting off parts of the playfield, which I've now touched up and restored. You can check my shop log on pinballinfo.com for the various different things I had to do to this machine to get parts out. I had to deal with stripped screws. I had to use basically a strip, like a screw extractor, I should say, to get rid of the some of the damaged screws, which was an absolute nightmare. This had a full playfield strip, so the entire playfield was taken out, everything. So we're talking like lane guides, plastics, star posts, you name it, it was off. All that remained was literally bare wood. And then it was rebuilt from the ground up. And the results have been quite stunning, to be honest with you. So a lot of people thought this was a rare playfield because the car is blue. And I've coined the phrase creature from the faded lagoon instead of the black, just purely because a lot of the pink, where this should be like either a kind of a mint pink or a hot pink, depending on what machine you got from where. And now it's in a blue. I quite like it actually. Decided to keep the blue. So to show you guys what it would have looked like, this is a decal that you can get. And that's the hot pink. And yeah, the hot pink would have looked, you know, obviously nice, especially when I've got hot pink Titan rubbers throughout the machine. But given the fact that the blue actually matches in well with the blue above, and then all of the inserts here are blue. And this start combo, that was completely destroyed. There was, the A was pretty much missing, as was the M. You can see the touch up there. It's been done by my wife. We've basically repainted that back in and then mylar'd over it to protect the paint. Same goes for this area here. We had some severe amount of wood peel here, and we've painted that back in. You can only really see the seam of where the mylar is. If you go up close, at distance, it's not even visible. This one's been a bit of a passion, to be honest. I haven't even played the game yet. How strange is that? So this machine has basically been a complete rebuild without a single ball being played by myself. My wife has basically played it, I haven't. This particular LCD mod is quite contentious in the community, but I'll be honest with you, I'd 100% buy it again, despite its cost. It's a great piece of kit, and the support I've had actually has been pretty good. Like, the guy's been messaging me back when I had trying to figure out installation issues and stuff like that, and he's been more than helpful. So thumbs up for myself there. And I love the way it interacts with the game. So this has actually got logic built into it that's built into the lamp matrix in the back box, where basically a Raspberry Pi is hooked up, and then whenever it reads a certain part of the game's been read, i.e. you can go down the kiss lane, it will show a kiss animation. As an example, if you find the creature during the lagoon scene, it shows the creature being found. So it all ties into the game. It's very reminiscent of Alien, if people have played that game from the Pinball Highway, where they put an LCD inside the screen, inside the playfield, sorry. That's much better. I much prefer this, to be honest with you, than having the color DMD, although I have actually bought a color DMD for this machine. Don't get me wrong, color DMD is good for people that are spectating and watching, but I think if you're playing the game, reading the information here rather than having to look up and understand where you're at in the game is miles better. This has transformed the game for me in terms of just being like an average game to being a great game. We've got Stumbler's Chase Echoes, which is basically a mod that you can get that does animations throughout the ramp, and that can be done during attract mode and during gameplay, and you can set it to do certain things at certain periods of the time of the game and so forth. Very much like that. It's a great mod, and again, Davey, i.e. Stumbler, has been great with support with me on that, helping me ensure I've got all the right kit ordered and troubleshooting for me while I was doing installation. Same goes for the bulbs here down here. So we've put LEDs in the fishbowl area as well as obviously in the ramp there. And obviously it's Comet LEDs throughout and Comet flashes throughout. So it's been quite an expensive outlay from that perspective as well. It's not been cheap to buy all the necessary mods and lights and ramps for this machine. This has been a very much a full restoration. We also have Stumbler's ring LEDs here, which animate when they get hit, and you can then choose the colors they animate with. So that's also been really good. And then we have Sphinx's snack bar mod with Stumbler's move your snack bar mod in with the mod. And again, amazing mod, to be honest with you, really well made, really ties the machine together. We're still waiting on Cliffy's metal protectors, so that's been wood filled here to basically create a flat surface ready for the metal protector to go in, and the same thing goes near the kiss scoop on the left side over here, but that's all been filled in and prepped. And then that's really the final piece of the puzzle left. Everything else has been finished. It's definitely been a very interesting project, sometimes stressful, especially when you can see above there is the original driver board that had to be recapped, and unfortunately it, for whatever reason, I think it's got maybe a damaged trace. Maybe there's a microfracture in the board where the insert LEDs just weren't lighting up during play, and I suspect that was just down to the fact that the board has damage in it, and I'll probably send it off at one point or another just to get that all fixed and resolved. But yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed the work that I've done.